So, growing up, I've always been a Woody Allen fan, who is a filmmaker, and he's known for comedies and tragedies, and he's really known for shooting in New York. He has these exquisite films where he portrays New York as this sort of majestical, beautiful place where everyone is happy and there's Cole Porter music pumping through the streets and nobody seems that upset. And so for the longest time, I always wanted to move to New York and had the opportunity to do so when I went to grad school. And I never thought that I would stay there. But there's something sort of interesting about New York that is unlike, I think, any other city. And I've lived, mostly in New England. Is that once you get there, you can't really leave. It kind of sucks you in, and not in a good way. There's a sense of failure. If you leave, you've not made it. And I guess Frank Sinatra kind of said that, right? But it's true. Like, you can't leave. And the moment you start to contemplate, what comes into your brain is, I failed. I failed at whatever task I tried to do. So after grad school, I ended up getting this great publishing position. I was going to be in publishing. That was going to be my career. It was with a really great publisher, and then they ended up relocating my position out to New Jersey, and I had no desire to move to New Jersey because I was living in New York. So I ended up taking this position with this billionaires who literally had, I think her net worth was like $5 billion, and I was to become her personal assistant. And so here I am. I've got an MFA in creative writing, I'm in publishing, and now I'm stuck ordering nylons and doing her Christmas lists, which included like buying poodles and she had like 300 people on her Christmas list, and I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable, and I thought, what have I done? And sort of what coincides this Christmas list is a visitation from my sister and mother and my young niece at the time, and they were there for the weekend to shop and to visit me. And I was living in Brooklyn at the time, and I had a horrible relationship. I had a horrible apartment. I had a horrible job. And I had a horrible boss who didn't get up until 12 and yelled at me the entire time. I had this terrible Christmas list with poodles and 300 people, and I was overwhelmed. And so I had asked them to meet me on this side street. And it was right in front of the Museum of Natural History, which has, maybe I'm making this up now, but I think it has 2 enormous lions in front of them.
Yep.
And so, does it? Good. So I asked them to meet me in front of there, and I got there, and I'm waiting, and they haven't shut up. And all of a sudden I start to panic, and I think, wait a minute, I actually think I've told them the wrong street. And in that moment I start to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to see them again. They're lost forever. I've lost my family. And here I am, I'm totally alone in a city that I hate, and there's no Cole Porter, and I'm never going to see the people that I love again. I can't get out. And so then I start to realize, wait a minute, I actually think I told them to meet me on this other street, which I always mixed up. I never got it right. So I took this cab over there, and in the cab I'm starting to become, I'm really upset, I'm starting to cry. The cab driver turns around, is there anything I can do? Are you okay? I can't even talk. I'm just get me there, just get me there, please. I've lost my family. So he steps on and he goes there, and there they are, waiting. They're there. They're waiting on the corner. They're absolutely fine. I get out of the car. I burst into more tears. I'm just a mess. And they look at me. We reconcile what has happened. They're not angry. I found my family. I'm not destitute. I'm not lost. I have a family. And 2 weeks later, I quit my job. I totally erased the Christmas list because that was the only thing I could think to do as a retaliation for this awful person, so that she couldn't write thank you letters. And I moved back to Boston. And I reconciled this by saying that, I could always just write Woody Allen films. I don't need to do that. And that was it. That's my story.